the litigation of Doom, the Dark Ages. Sam joins us to tell his divisive viewpoint on the latest from id. We play a little game about Metacritic review scores between critics and users and how those differentiate. Before diving into the latest stories of the week, we've got previews for Lies of P Overture, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, Puyo Tetris 2S, and Gimmiko. Reviews for Deliver at All Costs, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown, Monster Train 2, Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny, Remastered, Blades of Fire, from the Mercury Steam folks that brought us Metroid Dread, and Roadcraft review. Before heading to news, we learned even more about Mario Kart World. We've got Senua Saga Hellblade 2 headed to PlayStation 5, OpenAI acquiring Jony Ives' startup, art theft at Bungie, Epic and Apple continuing to fight, and that's it. Thanks so much for being here. All of that and more is coming up, so tune in. Let's see, right now. Here we go.
You guys remember last year how the Crips were trying to enroll me through YouTube Shorts?
I do.
Like, it was a bunch of tutorials for how to Crip walk and all this.
Yes.
Well, there's a new dance sensation on vertical videos, guys. Have you heard of Blue Shirt Guy?
No.
Thank God. I applaud you guys for not knowing who Blue Shirt Guy is. It has infected my algorithm. I don't even know how else to describe it. It's like every other video that I'm being served on YouTube right now is some variation of Blue Shirt Guy. So you may be asking yourself, what is Blue Shirt Guy? Apparently, Blue Shirt Guy was a salsa dancer, okay? An instructor. Okay, a salsa dancing instructor. Are you guys following so far?
Okay.
So far.
Well, you guys know how animated GIFs are made, right? People take video or whatever, and they save it as a GIF.
Mm-hmm.
And frequently, they are loops, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this person took what I would say is maybe 4 out of 8 or 12 steps. I don't know how many steps there are to the salsa he was teaching. And they looped it. And it's like 1, 2, and then reverse 1, 2. So it's a completely different dance move. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh my God, they've invented a new dance. So you guys are following so far. There's a salsa instructor with a video on the internet. Now there's a GIF repurposing the footage and creating something new. Years later, TikTok has found Blue Shirt Guy GIF, and everyone's doing the dance. Everyone's doing the dance. Everyone's taking him out of context and blue screening him into all sorts of situations. There are other people wearing blue shirts and the similar pants redoing the dance. But my point is, the dance never existed. It was a GIF. And now it's going viral. And it's everywhere. So I linked a video, which was definitely made by AI, of LeBron James doing the Blue Shirt Guy dance. Now, if you know me, you know that this is probably some sort of intersection of my trends and my algorithm, right?
Yeah.
But I'm really a broken person because I don't like the Blue Shirt Guy dance. I don't really like the song. I don't understand why it's even trending. And now there's like thousands of tutorials on how to do a dance that the instructor never actually made. It's just all very weird and stupid. And I just feel like it sums up the internet this week in 2025.
It just sounds like, what do you call that game in the United States? Because I think it's a racist name here in Australia, where one person has one word and then they whisper it to someone in front of them, and then
Telephone.
That person whispers it. Okay. All right. Cool.
That can't be racist.
You guys
in Australia,
can't say
right?
telephone in Australia?
It's not called telephone here.
Shack Together in America on the internet. If this is your first time joining us, what the hell are you doing? Shack Together is a Shack News video game podcast featuring myself, your host, Shack News CEO, EIC, EIEIO, Asif Khan, our producer Joe Stasio is here.
Hello.
And head of guides and senior cartographer at Shack Maps. And Chandler's here.
Hello.
Yeah, 2 titles.
Ooh, he's got 2.
2 titles. So yeah, like I said earlier, this is a video game podcast. Actually, the fastest growing video game podcast that with a stat that I just pull out of my ass each week. But it's true because you can just say things are true even if they're not now in this internet. So yeah, we talk about games that we've been playing. So Sam, I know you have some games you can't talk about, but what have you been playing lately?
That's a great question. I have still been playing the Oblivion Remastered, which is phenomenal. It is a great trip down memory lane. I love that game. Awesome. It's just me and my wife sitting next to each other, playing our characters, just enjoying the atmosphere. The team at, I can't remember the developer that did it.
Victorious or something?
Victress?
Go ahead. I will find Virtuous. Is it? Yes.
Virtuous. Yeah. They did a fantastic job. They took a classic game and have managed to retain the spirit and soul of what it was and just give it a little facelift and like some quality of life changes and whatnot. Yeah. And also been playing the finals, which I took a little break during the last season just because I went balls to the wall ham on it one season and friend circle was like, okay, we need to take a little bit of a break before we burn out on this. So jumped back in. Another mate started playing it to sort of fill the void of not having Destiny 2 to really play. And man, the finals is so good. It's got such good shooting, such good movement. The competitive nature of it is awesome. The build crafting with the loadouts and competing against other players. I would love to see it continue to gain traction and become more, played by people. Because
how long before you felt that? Yeah. I have a related to that huge compliment, massive compliment. How long until you felt that way? Because I like the game, but I don't feel that way.
Interesting. So it was. I definitely had a lot of time under my belt with it, and it was maybe 10 or so hours. But also, I had players who wanted to go hard on it as well, and we played ranked and we played sweaty.
Sure.
So the intent was obviously, I don't know what your sort of focus is when you play these games, but it's to just, go in, have fun. If you win, great. If you don't, whatever.
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
We go in and we are sweating to win. We want that win. We want that dub. We want that victory, that sweet. We want to make sure that the opponent knows that they got decimated. And all of us on that sort of same wavelength and just rolling to wins and getting in ranked and feeling the intensity of that climb up the tournament ladder, which have you played ranked in the finals?
No.
Okay. So, or even World Tour, whatever the case, it is a ranked thing. So you'll start off with 16 teams split into two groups, and the two winners from those play in the next match, and then the two winners from those play in the final match, literally the finals. And so you have to win 3 consecutive matches to walk away with a dub. And it feels good to be fighting for that victory,
Sure.
It really scratches that competitive shooter itch for me.
That sounds like the recipe.
Fast. Yeah. It doesn't have a super fast time to kill as well, which is what I appreciated. Coming from Battlefield and Call of Duties and all of that, but it's not.
It added team deathmatch recently, right, Sam?
Yeah, which I didn't want at first. I thought it wouldn't be super great, but I was putting shouts out about that on our Cortex platform, and yeah, I stand corrected. It's great. The TDM mode is really cool. It has a nice little wrinkle to it. It's not. They take the maps and they pick a spot on the map, and it's a smaller arena to fight in. So if you're familiar with the maps, great. And it also means that, different skills can be utilized. So for instance, when I'm playing on the usual mode, I would be running my heal beam and my defibs to be able to get allies up. But in TDM, the respawn time is 2-3 seconds. So there's no point reviving a teammate, and it lets me use my demat. So I can dematerialize a wall, run through it, dematerialize another wall, run through it. And so I can really flank the enemy really quickly. So you just see different strategies sort of come into play there. It's just great.
Do you think? I'm just curious, Sam. Do you think that game? I know that you were skeptical of team deathmatch, and I understand why. I think it would be even harder to do a free for all. Do you think that could happen, like a deathmatch or a rumble pit or whatever?
Yeah, they've had some free for all limited time modes in the past, and it is quite hectic. fun. It's really cool, and I think I'd like to see it come back with the smaller arena style that they've done with the TDM mode.
Yeah.
It could definitely work.
I feel like if they have those maps you're talking about from TDM, those could be used for like a rumble pit. Like I know rumble pit is such an old phrase at this point. Like,
I love it. I love that. Yeah.
rumble pit, or even older, deathmatch, because that's like what it was called. Now the kids these days call it free for all. But yeah, it's the same mode. Yeah, I think it's cool to see them. Like these are not fancy modes to be adding. They're kind of basic, but they're the ones I'm most interested in. So
yeah,
I think the core mechanics and the engine that they built the finals in with all that destructible environment stuff, I think it lends itself well to every kind of mode, because it's just, for sure, it's a unique shooter right now. I just want to mention, I think Splitgate Alpha is live right now, or as of this weekend.
The ping come through from my email. Yeah, that's cool.
So
I'm looking forward to getting all that.
So that's another one to kind of keep your eye on if you're listening right now. I think it's free to play, at least in the beta or whatever they're calling it. The reason I bring it up is like that's another shooter with a unique gameplay loop that I'm interested in. But yeah, you've been playing the finals for quite a bit, like over a year now.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a good game. I love it. The engine has done so well, and I've also been playing a little bit of Doom.
Yeah, when was the last time you played Halo Infinite, and is it still installed on your computer?
Oh, I played last week.
I think it's still installed, yeah. And it would have been a while ago.
Okay.
Would have been a while ago.
And Joe, you said you have Halo Infinite installed? Where?
On the PC.
Oh.
Amazing.
Why don't you install the Master Chief Collection instead? That's good.
My friends like the Infinite multiplayer. And also there's
free.
More people playing there.
It's free. Yeah. That's a good point.
And it ran great. It ran like butter.
Yeah. Look, perfectly fine game.
Oh yeah, I'm not defending Halo Infinite. I think if anything, I'm more down than most.
Yeah, it's fine. But I was just curious because it does feel like the finals has filled the Halo-shaped hole in your heart, Sam.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd say I definitely say that. It's definitely a different style of shooter as well.
Definitely.
Completely different. And it's scratching an itch that I had for that. It's way faster than Halo. Movement's faster.
But it's like your pick up and play on the weekend kind of game. Like you can pick it up, play it for 30 minutes and be on with your day kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And you said you've been playing Doom.
I have.
For work or for pleasure?
For work. For work. I'll up the hot take a little bit more. I don't think I'd be playing it for pleasure.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'll
So why don't you love Doom? What's wrong? What happened?
I know. I feel bad.
What's wrong with Doom? What's wrong with Doom: The Dark Ages?
Just to to give Joe and our listeners a little bit of context here. Doom: The Dark Ages has come out, and people are really enjoying it, and it received a really positive review from David Craddock here at Jack News, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking forward to playing it, and I was been playing it for guides and covering it there, and I did a shout. I shouted. I did it, and you saw it.
I'll just read it. I'm going to read it to the folks at home. This is from Sam Chandler on the 18th of May. So we're recording this on the 20th. This is just 4 days ago. I saw this on the Shack News Cortex platform, and I was taken back by the statement, and I was like, I have to have this person on the podcast. Look, I just like the whole quote unquote hot take thing, but I might have one that I need to say. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills even saying it. I don't vibe with the new Doom. It's not scratching my brain like 2016 did.
Yeah, that's my quote. That's what I said. And again, I'm not blasting the game. It is a competent game. id Software has done what they've done, and they've delivered a cool shooter. It's cool. It's not giving me 2016 vibes. I adored 2016. There's just something about the shooting in Dark Ages. There's something about the music. There's something that feels overly sort of manufactured, where it's like, yes, the Doom franchise, you're supposed to feel like a badass. You're supposed to feel unstoppable.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe Dark Ages is like, you are unstoppable. It's like maybe pushing too hard in that direction. And so I'm feeling like resistance to that, where it's like reminding me constantly, you're a badass. You're like, I don't know. There's something about it. There's something that's just not quite grabbing me. And I think a big component of that is the music. I don't think the music hits nearly as hard as 2016 did.
Well, it's not Mick Gordon.
Yeah, it's not bassy enough. It doesn't punctuate the fighting well enough. There's too many times in the combat where I just simply don't hear the music, or it's not powerful enough to really continue to drive me forward to push and kill these demons in the most visceral way I possibly can.
I'll agree with you on the 2016 vibe created by the music is better, but I think the music in the Dark Ages is much better than Eternal, which was the first of this trilogy to not have Mick Gordon on it. I think they tried to make it better, and I do think that there are moments that punctuate battles better, but you are right. During fights, I'm not thinking or even hearing the music. But I would say it's not necessarily the music's fault in that case. It's just that there's so much shit going on. You have like 8 different projectiles coming at you. You're blowing up one dude with a shotgun. You're shield dashing. You know what I mean? Like the thing that I think, like I just want the thing that like about it doesn't hit you like 2016. I feel like this game's way more like 2016 than Eternal was.
Yeah, probably. And to be fair, I didn't play Eternal, but also the point of there's so much stuff happening on screen that maybe you're not focusing on the music. I'd say that there was a lot of stuff happening on screen in 2016, and yet I was still able to hear that music.
Not as many enemies, not as many projectiles, not as many sounds going on. It's just more. It's like a lot. These are the largest arenas we've seen in this new Doom trilogy. Like Eternal had some very big levels. These are massive. And I can kind of understand. Do you like the shield?
The shield is cool. I think the shield's the best thing. I think the shield is really cool. I don't think the movement of the shield is very compelling. Like
the dash?
Yes, the dash. You can only dash when you're locked onto an enemy or a destructible bit of the environment. And I just let me side dash sideways. Let me if you just give me a dash to be able to move myself without having to lock onto an enemy, I would really like that. But as it stands, I love being able to throw it. I love being able to to see it ricochet around and sever things, get stuck in demons and rip it out. It is such a cool weapon that I'm really hopeful that they will bring to other games.
I don't know how they can. But back to your original point about the Doomslayer and how you're such a badass. I think it's funny that 2016 Doom guy is weaker. He's not the the Super Slayer demon killer that everyone is afraid of in the Dark Ages. And you see it with even when he lands, when he jumps, you hear that thud.
That's cool.
He's just bigger and chunkier and I don't know. There's something different about that. But
I guess who knows? An eon has passed maybe because at the start of 2016 you get ripped out of the sarcophagus. So maybe you've been But I just want to say something this is gonna sound kind of weird, but I'm probably gonna write a feature or make a video about this at some point. But it's we post a lot about Nintendo here and Nintendo Switch 2. And there's this internet discourse about Nintendo right now that they're this greedy company and all that stuff. Is there not a similar situation going on here with 2016 compared to the Dark Ages, where id Software in 2016 was kind of similar to Nintendo in 2017 when they released the Switch? There were very low expectations for Doom 2016, Sam, and there were barely any expectations for Switch 1. Now, flash forward to now, id Software, Bethesda, ZeniMax, they're owned by Microsoft now, and Nintendo had the most successful system of their history. So it's they're both kind of set up for higher scrutiny, is my point. Is that fair to say that you're looking at this with more scrutiny than you were in 2016? Because if you just look at the systems, Doom the Dark Ages is a far better designed game than 2016, in my opinion. But the simplicity of Doom 2016 is probably what you liked. Yep, probably. And obviously, Doom 2016 was just such a surprise, whereas this is not just such a surprise.
Yeah. The glory kill it felt new. It had been in one other game before it, but the glory kill was a new mechanic, and it was that push forward gameplay, right? But in my opinion, each of these Doom games has a specific battle chess that they create with their systems. I loved 2016. The battle chess in Eternal did not land with me at all because it was like, use this gun to kill this enemy. You have to do this, to do that, to do this. Even the climbing was annoying. It felt like they refined both sides of the equation with the Dark Ages, where they kind of got rid of the glory kill, but they kept the whole push forward combat. And instead of making it a platform puzzle game, they're like, here, just hit the A button and you'll climb up this wall without having to hold on to buttons to do it. So I feel like they polished some of the parts of Eternal that I didn't like, and some of the 2016 stuff that if you go back and play it now, Sam, it might not hold up as well as you remember. Because
maybe, but that's kind of like
it's a moment in time sort of thing. Like, no,
right.
I get what you're saying.
This sounds like the Zelda Breath of the Wild versus Tears conversation you and I were having, where I still take Breath of the Wild, and it may be nostalgia goggles a little bit, but it's also my priority in terms of what I appreciated about these two games was the atmosphere of Breath of the Wild versus the systems development of the second game.
Mm-hmm.
While admittedly more rich, right? It was solving a problem I didn't have with the first game.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think some people did have that problem with the first game, though.
I'm sure.
And like I remember people like, there's no dungeons in this game, right? And you can still argue that there weren't dungeons in Tears either, but I'm pretty sure those were dungeons.
I think in terms of the weaponry of in terms of the weaponry of Doom, like I'm not in love with any of the weapons either. And
what?
Like I know. I think the super shotgun's rad. I think it's great. I think the shield thing is great. I think what I'm driving at here though is that you can just use one weapon and be fine for the entire game.
No.
I would like
you
to
can't. You're gonna run out of ammo. You're going to run out of ammo. The whole game's built around that.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, man. Like the super shotgun is effective against literally everything.
Good.
The shredder is effective against literally everything.
Good.
I would like to have some more strategic thinking about which gun I'm using.
Well, then go play Eternal, because that's the game that has exactly what you're asking for. And I hated it. I didn't hate the game. I didn't like that aspect of it. That's funny, Sam, because you're like what you're complaining about, I like. And I think that's that's a really, really good way to explain to the folks at home like how they'll feel. You know? Because it's like we're not disagreeing about anything here. It's like this is how this game handled it, and some people are gonna dislike that, and some people are gonna like that. I'm the kind of Leroy Jenkins run and gun FPS player, so like it really appeals to me. I will say like I'm about 7 or 8 chapters in right now. It's like about a third of the way through the game. I really like the mech. That's awesome. Okay. Like, did you not like the mech?
I understand right now. It might sound like I'm coming off way more negative. That I like. It is a good game. id Software has done well. I don't think I would continue playing it if I didn't have to. Is what I'm kind of driving at here. It's cool. I've had a good time, like shooting and whatnot, but it's not scratching that itch for me. Like I said, in terms of what I'm down on, I don't like the dragon, not a fan of the mech, and I don't care for the open world at any cost. Like, stop making open world games when there doesn't need to be open world. Just put me in a hallway, put me in corridors, let me just blast demons to bits in, like, arenas. I don't want to be traipsing around the battlefield. Like, have you gotten to Siege Part 1?
Yeah.
I think you said just 7. Yeah, I don't, man. I don't dig that.
I don't know. I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's great.
I liked Siege Part 2 better than Siege Part 1, but yeah, like I don't find the map to be too big anyway yet. I will agree with you and David in his review. The dragon sucks. It sucks. It's horrible. The whole parrying or whatever the dodge mechanic that you have to use in it, that sucks. Mm-hmm. The thing that really pisses me off, which will seem arbitrary and dumb to some people listening, when you're like flying over a landing zone, right, Sam? And you're like right next to it and you hit the button to land. It flies you all the way up and then shows you this like pre-canned animation of you landing. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? Why did you do that? That's so unnecessary. Shit like that. I hate that. But also, like, every aspect of that freaking dragon, you can't barrel roll What the fuck? How are you
Yeah,
gonna make
wild.
a flying video game where you can't barrel roll? That's stupid. And yeah, you have to fly through rings to get health. And that's straight out, that's gameplay straight out of Superman 64, which I hold as the worst video game I've ever had to review.
Yeah.
So like, I got some Superman 64 PTSD playing Doom.
There are
Wow,
big
you
discrepancies
reviewed that?
with
I reviewed, that's how old I am. I reviewed Superman 64. Yes, that's how old I am.
there's
Gave it a
discrepancies
3.
in the dragon levels as well, where I don't know if you noticed, but yeah, you'll land on like a plinth, go through, clear it, explode the hell carrier, get back on the dragon, and it's like, well, where was that bridge that I just got off of? None of
There's no
environment
continuity
matches.
there. Like,
And it's like, I want to see the results of my actions. I'm this Doomslayer, absolutely decimating stuff. Where are the bodies? Where's the hell carrier that I obliterated? Like, show me my power. It's just, it just evaporated.
I really, really dislike that part of it.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Where
So
I disagree is I think the mech's great.
mech. Yeah, that's cool, man. Like, what
I would like that to be made into a VR game.
Yeah, okay, I can dig that. I think the mech's just a slower combat scenario. I'd rather be on the ground running.
But it's like the scale, man. Like,
Yeah.
there's that reveal of the first monster you're fighting, and I think it's the first chapter or second chapter, where it's like in the water and there's a dragon fighting it, and like you end up having to fight it later. But like, there's never been enemies this large in a Doom game. So like, I like that larger than life aspect of it, and I also think it's like cool. Like there's a hand to hand combat. There's like a parry mechanic and a dodge mechanic, and like nothing about being a giant mech pisses me off in that game. But the dragons,
I'm not pissed off about it.
Yeah, the dragons really piss me off though. Like the dragons,
what you're saying about the scale. The
Mhm.
scale is cool. But I think that, you know what would have led to like greater sense of scale? If I could still be the Doomslayer climbing up that massive demon and like killing it from the inside out, you know?
like a God of War scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
see that.
punch it in the face as like Doom, as the Slayer. Let's go.
Yeah, but you know, there are points, this isn't a spoiler, like where you take one of them down with a turret, you know?
Yeah,
So
that's cool. Yeah.
and that was cool. I was like, oh, wow, this is like, I'm going to die here. And then you don't. I don't know, like at the end of the day, the thing that I loved about 16 was like it rewarded you for almost dying.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like this game does the same thing, Sam. Like I feel like the Dark Ages does that. And I think that Eternal even did that. It's like that aspect of it is what, like, it's just funny because like I can't remember what level it was, but like I didn't blink for so long that my eyes started tearing up while I was playing the game.
Mhm.
I was like, that's the highest compliment I can give a game, is like I didn't blink because I was just that in. I don't know. I really like the combat situations you find yourself in, and like that feeling of being overpowered or whatever in this game. Like, yeah, but there's a difficulty slider, you know, that you can change the parry window. There's a lot you can do to make this game like super difficult.
For sure.
Like I don't think that's really fair, because like, yeah, Doomslayer's a badass, but he's a badass in every game.
Yeah.
I'm playing on Hurt Me Plenty right now, and then if I have time, I'll go back and play it through Ultra Violence. But I don't know, what difficulty were you playing it on?
Just probably the whatever the normal one is that most players will instantly load into.
Hurt Me Plenty. Yeah, that's what I'm playing.
I just wanted the normal user experience, you know?
It's not too hard. But
yeah, no, it's fine. It's got some nice challenge to it. You know, I died a couple of times to maybe a boss or two, but otherwise, yeah, if you're paying attention, it shouldn't be too troublesome. And again, I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I think it's good. I think if you like Doom, go out and play it. Have fun. Ripping and tearing demons is fucking cool as always. I prefer 2016.
So
that's kind of the short.
This is the last question. As someone who plays all these Souls games,
okay,
and loves Souls games and Bloodborne and all that stuff, what do you think of the parrying in the game?
I think that it's super forgiving and really easy and kind of like, I don't know. It's cool. It's cool, but it's also not really something I'm like.
You do know that they increased the window for it during the review period.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was less forgiving. So many journalists were struggling that they changed the default setting.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So-
it's really forgiving. I think it's fine. I think it's just
But once again, like we're in this era where like hard game has to be hard game. You can't have accessibility. Like Doom is extremely accessible, where like you can make it an easier game to play, or you can make it like insanely hard. So I think
exactly.
that
You control the buttons, like do whatever you want.
so that's interesting. But you're right. The default, I don't think the default parry thing is that challenging. Where I find it challenging, Sam, and I think this is just speaks to the level design and where they place these enemies. You're like always being flanked in this game.
Yeah. Now,
So it's like-
am I not paying enough attention, or is there enough visual cues on screen for where the enemies are located? Like when I'm trying to move around, maybe I just need to get good.
Yeah.
I find that I'm taking damage, and I'm like, wait, hold on, where was that coming from? Where did that
It's
even?
always coming from behind you. And no, there is
Yeah.
no one telling you. There's nothing on the screen telling you that, except for, you might hear it, right? But like,
Yeah.
other than that, no, there are no cues telling you, hey, there's something behind you. But it's just safe to assume there's fucking something behind you in that game at all times.
Yeah.
And it's usually got some green shit it's shooting at you that you could probably parry back, but you don't even know because you're looking the wrong way, right? So I'll admit that's frustrating, but I also think it heightens the chaotic feel of so many of those battles.
For sure. And it's not something that I usually really struggle with. Like, if anyone here, devil daggers, love devil daggers. I've got some good high scores on that, but for some reason, I'm just getting hit from weird angles in Doom. And I was like, maybe it's just a failing on my part, and I just need to get good.
I think that's the case. Anyway, not in everything, but I'm just saying in that specific scenario where you're being flanked, I think it's just being more mindful of where you are in the level. And so many id Software games reward players for sticking to the perimeter of wherever you are.
Yeah.
Like that's been a thing in Quake and Doom for a very long time. Did you ever play the first and second Doom, Sam? Like in the 90s? Or were you like a baby?
Probably not. I think that was maybe just slightly outside of my... I was probably a child, an infant.
Because there are references to the first two games sprinkled out throughout this Dark Ages game where I'm like, wow, they're doing like 1-to-1 recreations of how the bullets fly at you.
That's
or like
cool, man.
Like there's some stuff going on in this game that if you understand the whole history of Doom, you're like, whoa, that's fan service for 93. That's fan service for Doom 2 or Doom 3.
That's just a love letter, man. That's so cool.
And that's what 16 was too. Like 16 was a huge love letter to the first Doom, and this feels like a love letter to all the Dooms. But yeah, interesting.
Talk about a studio that respects the history of its game and the franchise.
At least one game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the other game is in hell. Quake?
Yeah,
Quake's actually in hell. I don't know where.
It's been fully strugified, man. It's been fully strugified.
Sam, this is a Quake game.
Yeah.
Would you have the same critical eye comparing it to 16? Probably not.
No, because the last one I played was Quake 4, and I loved that. But that was like when I was 15 or 16 or something. So who knows what?
And that's the worst Quake game. But like,
I loved it.
That's fine. Well, no, actually, Quake Champions exist. I don't know.
Oh yeah. That's
my point is, like, yes, they value Doom and Wolfenstein, kind of, because they ported out to a studio. But like, yeah, how they've treated Quake. And as I played through this, I'm like, this could have been Quake.
Yeah.
It could have been a Quake game. Now they went all hell with it. And like, I get it. Doom, Hell, Mars, all that stuff. But the Dark Ages, this time period, Lovecraftian enemies, that's all from Quake. So there's like this, you're right. There's a reference to their past, but at the same time, like, I don't know what they're doing with one of the most beloved IP on their platform. Hey, we've talked way too much about Doom already. Joe, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Nice. So you're enjoying this, right?
It's growing on me for sure.
Okay.
Like I think I said last week, like I don't know that I understand the 97 overall, whatever user score on OpenCritic or whatever it is. It's very good. That's a really high number. That's Super Mario Odyssey numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that notwithstanding, there's a groove I finally fell into. I think I'm like 25 hours in by now. And I finally fell into the loop where I don't feel like they're introducing new stuff. And like they just want you to build craft and worry about, the skill tree and worry about, picking the right weapon. And, it's becoming more unforgiving in a way that I like, that just emphasizes the fact that you do have to pay attention to, what you have equipped. And, it was a kind of thing where the first 20 hours, I'd say it's like you're presenting me with all these different systems that I don't feel like I have to engage with necessarily. So, it's a strange feeling to, again, the hype amplified this frustration of mine where it's like, I'm hearing so much praise for this battle system. I'm like, I don't even really need half this stuff. Like I don't know, the basic attack is working. And now finally, like the challenge has cranked up and it's forcing my hand in a way that's fun. It's like, oh, I have to like pick the right skill. I have to parry on this optional boss because if I don't parry, I'm not doing enough damage. So like that too, like, right. I think, I forget which episode, but I know we talked about the dodge option versus the parry option. Like you have to do one of them. Mm-hmm. When the enemy attacks you, you have to either dodge or parry. But I guess the thesis here is like it's forcing my hand to have to engage with these systems that I thought were a little bit cute before. And now they're pretty hardcore actually. And having to contend with them is fun. So, it took a long time for me to feel that way though. And I do feel like the game doesn't have a quote unquote slow start in the traditional sense, which is in a JRPG or in an RPG usually means like, oh, I can't leave the town. I want to get on the journey. It's like, that's usually the complaint when someone says, slow start in RPG. But in this case, I actually just think it was kind of a passive, like it didn't show its hand for a really long time, in my opinion. But yeah, by now I'm having a good time with it. It's pretty cool.
So you did not start Metaphor, you just jumped into this instead.
Yeah, well, part of that is I don't own Metaphor anymore. I sold all my stuff.
So it was on Xbox?
Yeah, so I see that it's on sale on Steam right now, but I didn't buy it. I'll get to it. I absolutely will get to it. Yeah. It's one of those games I won't forget. I played Persona 5 Royal like 6 years late too. So
look, I'm still playing Persona 5, so I understand. And I'm still playing Metaphor. But I am kind of hopeful that Metaphor comes to Switch too.
That feels likely.
In my opinion, that's going to happen. And that's where, like, I bought P5 for PlayStation 4, and I played it for like 50 hours there. And then I got it on my Switch, and I played it for like 100 hours there. So
I don't think we're alone in this, like I know that it can come off as privileged, this stance, and I have the same stance. Like, oh, I'd rather play this game I already own on this platform. I've done that with Steam Deck more times than I'd like to admit.
Yeah.
But if a developer does some sort of like online portal that moves a save file from, one platform to the next, you're going to get more double dipping from me.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
Cross save support or cross progression.
Cross save support. Yeah, I would look at that if I'm a publisher, a developer. I would look at that as like a moneymaker potentially. I don't think we're alone in the double dip.
No, I think the company that has the framework for that ready to go and licensable to other devs is Epic with their Epic Online services. They have everything that you're talking about in there as part of Unreal Engine. So cool. It's definitely a benefit to making an Unreal Engine game. I was hoping that Monster Hunter Wilds was going to do something like cross save. I don't think they did that, Sam.
I'm not sure.
They had cross play. Like we're getting more cross play than we are cross progression right now. But
which is wild. I wouldn't have believed that 10 years ago.
Yeah. But it's a secular trend in the whole industry of bringing people together across platforms to the point where no one needs an Xbox anymore.
And here I am. It's I did research before I went on this PC journey of mine, and I was texting my friend of the show Vin. I was like, okay, here's the list of things I can't play with you anymore, which was 2 games, and then 15 games that we can still play together.
What were the 2 games?
Overwatch, which I'm not a fan of, so it doesn't matter. Or I wasn't upset. I wasn't upset about, I should say. It does matter. I upset my friends But
that's true.
no
Unbelievable,
love
mate.
lost on my part. And I forget the second game. Oh, X Defiant.
Well, yeah, no one's gonna be able to play that in a month.
Yeah, I think like 2 weeks, maybe less.
Damn. Probably could have sold that on eBay. Be like, this has X Defiant installed on it, and it would have sold for like $1,000. Probably
Yeah,
not.
like a PT PS4 back in the day.
Yeah.
I
Or
did
like,
that, by the way. I sold my PS4 with PT on it, and
well done.
and I made a little extra cash on it.
I think my PS4 is sitting in the office unplugged.
Wow.
If anyone wants to buy it, go for it. Anyway, any other games you've been playing, or?
No, I have this like. Do you guys ever feel this way? Like I'll be in bed and like starting to doze and be like, man, I could be playing a game right now. I never have time to play a game. It could be right now. It could be me doing that
Yes.
right now.
Oh yes.
So the answer is no. I have not played anything else, but I have a lust on like I've never felt before. I just want to, man. They're piling up. I see my Steam library now, which I'm being forced to look at more than ever. It's so big. I got to play more, but no, I haven't. What about you? What have you been playing?
Well, thanks for asking. So I'll get this out of the way first. I haven't played F-Zero 99 in a week.
What?
I know. It's crazy.
A week.
A whole week. I've taken a week off of playing F-Zero 99. Because the game that has taken over that time slot that you're talking about, which is for me is late night, is Doom. I'm playing Doom instead of F-Zero.
That says a lot.
Yeah, like I fucking love this game. And it's fitting into my life the way F-Zero 99 does, where I can pick up a controller and play F-Zero 99 for like 5 minutes, or play it for 2 hours, right? Doom's very similar, and I gotta shout out the Xbox Series X, and I guess the S maybe too. Their pause, like suspend game feature is still the best. Because like I can be like mid chapter, Sam, and I just pause the game, turn off my console, get on with my life, come back, turn it on, and I'm right where I left off.
It's phenomenal.
That's super useful in a game like Doom, because there are some battles, Sam, like where I'm just like, I'm going to take a break after that, even though I'm like mid chapter. I'm like, put the controller down, get something to drink or whatever. So like I'm playing Doom with that same tactical nature that I play F-Zero 99, where it's like, yeah, I have over 200 hours in F-Zero 99, but most days you're not going to see me playing it for more than 30 minutes. And that's kind of, that 30 minutes is being taken up by Doom the Dark Ages. I did not get rid of Blue Prince from my rotation, though. That game is embedded in my brain right now.
Oh, good.
I don't even... what is a Blue Prince spoiler at this point, guys? I don't know. But
Just say Blue Prince spoilers. Look at the time codes.
There you go. Blue Prince spoiler. I got the garage powered and I opened the garage door.
Hey,
Nice.
Hell yeah. Okay.
I was on the west side. I was on the west side. I don't know if it's always on the west side, but I was on the west side of the building when this happened. So
It is a west side building. A west side
okay,
room.
got it. So then I opened the gate.
Mhm.
And I went. I built a shack or something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I got that far. I did that, and I ran out of steps. And then, so it's open now though, because that's like a kind of like a Metroidvania style permanent thing. When you open a gate, it's kind of like a Souls-like, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, I did that. I got to like I got the mirror hall. I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing when I get to the top of the level, guys. Like I've been next to that room, at the top, and like the door's not there, and like I must have had the wrong room next to it. I don't know. I'm not sure if I know how to get to the end game.
Your question constitutes a spoiler, even though we're already in spoiler country.
Mm-hmm.
It constitutes a spoiler that would be not fun for you if we answered the question. Yeah.
Fair enough. So I can tell you that I'm getting closer.
Nice.
But I think I'm on day, like my next day will either be 19 or 20.
Nice. Good effort.
Yeah.
Can I ask, are you throwing coins into the fountain?
Yes.
Nice.
When I can, because sometimes I just simply run out of steps in the house somewhere, Sam. But
yeah,
if I get to a condition where I know like I'm out of luck, yeah, I definitely do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll drop a
Joe. Have you?
screenshot.
This is a Joe, you can. I know we're in the spoiler territory, but this will be. I just want you to answer like vaguely.
Cryptically.
Have you?
Yep.
Yeah. Have you seen everything the chapel has to offer?
Yes. I mean,
I definitely haven't.
the trouble with this game is like, I think so.
Who knows?
You know?
Yeah. All right, but cool. Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'll this is my day 17 run. But yeah, I'm uploading a couple of pictures into our Discord.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did get the garage door opened. That was kind of like my big achievement of the week.
Yeah, that was a cool moment.
Very nice.
Sam, I don't know if you heard last episode, but Asif revealed that he thought that he had to fill every tile.
Yeah, I heard that. That's great. I love that.
Which is just like what a exercise in masochism. Absolutely brutal task.
Mate, got to get that achievement. Come on.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I just was like, there's 45 squares. The 46th room must appear after I drop 40. I've explained it already.
There's another version of this game where they mandate that. I agree. But yeah, so hard. So hard.
No, I definitely made it harder than it needed to be. But yeah, still enjoying it, but it is definitely starting to piss me off. Which I guess I'm like halfway through, right? Because if I get to day 46, it's just over?
No.
Oh.
Another rule you invented. You're good.
I thought the guy, your great uncle said like you have X amount of days.
Nope.
No time limit.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel less anxious about it, I guess. So it's just how people show off how good they are, right? So I beat in X amount of days.
Yeah, and I saw, speaking of, this is going to be at AGDQ.
Yeah, Summer Games Done Quick.
Yes.
Summer Games Done Quick is doing this, Sam. How the hell is that going to work?
Quickly.
How can anyone with confidence say I can beat that game quickly? It's like it's like I'm gonna win at craps. It's like, no, you can't tell me that you're gonna win at something random, right? Like,
yeah,
I find that, and I know that they did a Balatro speed run, so it's possible to do that in these kinds of games, Hades, but there is an element of luck, right?
Well, there's clipping. I've seen glitches. So
sure.
Maybe it'll be like a non-normal approach to winning.
Oh, like a glitch run? I could see that. I could see that. I'd be okay with that.
Huh. Oh, why not?
Anyway, those are the two games I've been playing. Really, I haven't had much time for anything else because we have quite a skeleton crew at Shack News this week. Greg and Donovan were on assignment. TJ's on assignment. Ozzy's always somewhere. And that left me editing a lot of video. So please go watch all of our videos on all the places, which, by the way, we hit 1 million views on a video this week. So
that's cool.
Pretty
Congrats.
Exciting. Yeah. We now have a YouTube video that has achieved over 1 million views. So exciting stuff. So yeah, go over to Shack News Interviews YouTube and Shack News and Shack News VODs. Anyway, it sounds like you got a game planned for us coming up, Joe.
I sure do. Which means that you are actually playing 3 games and not 2. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. Gentlemen, you've arrived at the 2015 MetaGames Critics versus Users. This game is inspired by a listener question I heard on a different podcast who basically wrote in with like 3 questions of this game. And I was like, oh, what a great idea. So I am not claiming to have come up with this. Thank you to whoever that was who wrote into MinMax. Great idea. The idea is as follows. I'm going to name a 2015 video game. On Metacritic, these games have a critic score, which is sort of the more public number that you often see at Metacritic, and then there's a user score. And we will alternate between you, and you are going to tell me which is higher. I will give you a point if you're right, and then I will give you an extra point if you tell me the number.
Wow.
So that extra point is going to be very tricky, but extra points are meant to be tricky.
And
do you understand the game?
Are we going to alternate?
Yes, we will alternate.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. You will each have 15 opportunities for points.
Okay.
Here we go. Asif, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Which was higher, critic or user?
Oh man. User?
Incorrect. Why don't you go for that bonus point, though?
So this would be the critic metascore.
Correct.
94?
Incorrect. 93. So close. So close.
Damn.
Sam, you're up.
Okay.
2015's Bloodborne.
Oh, okay. I think the user score is going to be higher.
Incorrect.
Oh, come on, users. What are you doing?
Go for your bonus point.
For the critic score.
Correct.
92.
Correct. A point to
Hey.
Sam. Wow.
How can you get a bonus point when... Okay, never mind. It's fine. I had the same opportunity.
Asif, your question is Splatoon.
The first Splatoon.
2015's Splatoon 1. Yep.
Critics?
Incorrect.
Oh my god. 88.
Incorrect. The user score for Splatoon is 85.
Okay. What was the
The-
critic score?
81.
Okay. It was Wii U.
That's right. Sam, how did Rise of the Tomb Raider fare?
Oh, Rise of the Tomb Raider. The critics loved it.
That is correct.
And
What did they
then
score
in
it?
terms of the critics, I think they actually scored it quite favorably. I think we're looking at like a 93.
I'm sorry. That's a considerable overestimation.
Yeah. That's high. Was it 85?
88.
Okay.
Asif, do you recall a game called Mad Max?
Yeah.
Who liked it more?
Users.
That is correct. How much did they like it?
I'll say 90.
Incorrect. Not quite that much. 73 critics, 80 users for Mad Max.
Wow.
Critics were wrong. That game's fun.
I remember it being quite good.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Sam, how did the Order 1886 fare?
Not well overall. I think that I think probably users liked it a little bit more than critics.
That is correct. To what
Yeah.
extent?
Probably 78.
You are so off. The correct answer is 64.
Yeah.
Oh,
A 64 to 63 rating there. So
Yeah. Terrible.
some agreement between users and critics. I quite liked it. Strangely.
It was
I mean,
very
you know,
short.
You know why I liked it? Because it was $5.99 on PS4.
It was short.
It was very
So
short.
when it came out and it was a full priced game, it was not received well because it was
Right.
very short.
Here's a good one. Asif, what's the deal with Yoshi's Woolly World?
Let's say users liked it more than critics,
That's right.
and they gave it an 83.
Ooh, very close. 85. Sam, Tales from the Borderlands.
Wow,
ooh, okay.
that's a tough one.
Yeah. So, Tales from the Borderlands is that the story one with like the choose your own adventure
Yes.
style?
Yeah, Telltale.
I think it leans more towards the critic. I think the critics probably preferred it more.
That's right.
And to which degree? I think it was maybe I think high 70s is where I'm landing here. Maybe 79.
Incorrect. 85. Tales from
Yeah.
the Borderlands is one of the more
Most
well-liked
liked.
Telltale
Yeah.
games.
Wow.
And it's a well-liked Borderlands game too.
Mm-hmm. Asif, you may recall that in 2015, a independent nuke hit the scene, Undertale.
Fuck. Critics,
Correct.
I don't know, like 92.
Perfect.
Wow.
Whoa.
Right on the money.
Oofa.
There you
Oh
go.
my gosh.
Nicely
Good game.
done. Sam, you're up next with Batman Arkham Knight.
I don't even know. Is that the first one? It doesn't matter. I don't know.
Arkham Knight is the
Second.
Knight is the last one with the Batman.
Third one.
It's the last one. I think the users probably liked it more than the critics at that point.
That is incorrect.
So the critics really loved it. I don't know. Give it an 88, Joe.
Very close, 87.
Oh, don't even say very close. Just
Very
just
close.
wrong. That's demoralizing.
It is. Being one off is brutal.
Asif, you're up with Super Mario Maker.
Critics
Incorrect.
forgot it was a Wii U game, so critics gave it a -10 just for that. It's such a wonderful game. I'm gonna say 89.
Right on the money.
Wow.
job.
I should have said if it's a Wii U game, the media didn't like it.
Right, it did have a handicap. Sam, Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh, okay. That's tough, man, because I think they both could probably like it. I'm going to stick with users. I think the users probably dug it way more than critics. That's what I'm going with. Tell me I'm right.
You are wrong.
So the critics liked it more.
That's right.
To the tune of what? What ballpark am I looking here, Joe? Am I looking in the 80s?
No,
I can't say that.
I'll tell you, it's not in the 80s, Sam.
Is that
No
too
fucking
high?
way.
Too
No
low? I
fucking
don't know.
way is it in the 80s.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if it's too high or too low. I got no clue. I don't
No
know.
way is it in the 80s. I'm gonna just say that. I'm not giving you a hint other than that, but it's not in the 80s. By that much.
Give me a 77.
Oh.
I should have gone 66.
50.
No. The correct answer is yes, the critics preferred it at 73. It's got a 59 for the users.
Yeah.
I don't
It
remember
had-
it being quite this divisive.
It had the worst microtransaction model ever.
I thought that was the second game that
I thought-
famously had that model.
Oh, is that the case? I don't know. I got mixed up then. Either way, it sucked.
You might be right.
Either way, it wasn't very good.
Oh, for some reason, I'm thinking of the PS2 game. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm way off. Yeah.
No, this is a 2015, man.
Yeah, I will
Yeah,
remind you, all games are 2015 here.
Yeah, no, I forgot the whole premise. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry.
There's
You
a game
only
he
have
hasn't
yourself.
said yet. There's a game he hasn't said yet, and it's like bothering me.
Oh, I'm very likely to get to it.
You'll get to it.
Next up, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Asif.
That's both liked by fans and critics. Shit. But it was a Wii U game. I'm going to say users.
Good job.
And I'm going to say 91.
I'm sorry, too high. 86 is the user score. 84 for critics. Sam, do you recall a walking simulator entitled Soma?
Oh, I do. I love that. I think, I don't know how reviewed it was. I have been wrong quite a lot the last few guesses, but I'm going to go with critics. I think the critics maybe preferred it.
And you're wrong again.
Damn.
Unbelievable.
I thought so too. That's
What was that user score?
I don't know. 92.
Way too high. 85.
Unbelievable. It's such a good game. They're wrong.
85
I'm going to
and
go
84.
change that. Okay.
Let's see. 2015. I'm wondering what, Asif, you're referring to by the one that's bothering you that I haven't brought up, but I'm going to take a stab and say, no, I can't. I'm going to pick at random. Dying Light.
I'm going to say critics.
Incorrect.
Cool. 91.
Incorrect. 85 to 75 in favor of the users.
The fuck? Critics gave Dying Light a 75.
Yeah.
Wow. That game did not deserve that kind of hate.
Yeah. I remember being impressed with it.
That's still really good. That's 75.
It's not good if you're a game developer, Sam. You get bonuses above 80. You don't get bonuses for 75.
That's right.
Just food for thought next time you're reviewing a game, anyone listening. Someone's livelihood depends on your review score. Not the users, but critics.
It's only 8, 9s, and 10s.
All 5 of you critics left out there. Anyway.
Sam, Life is Strange debuted in 2015. How did it fare?
Oh, it was a critical success. The critics loved it, mate.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. I mean, well.
Wow. All right. No, all right. Yeah. No, fair enough.
No, it sucked.
Your statement may be true, but that is not the higher number, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. The fans liked it more.
Yeah. But to what? I don't know, man. 89?
Close. 86 for the users.
Ooh, okay.
Asif, a little game entitled Fallout 4 came out in 2015.
Yeah, it did. Bethesda jank. I'm going to say critics.
You'd be right.
And it's an excellent video game, barring all the Bethesda jank. 87.
Dang. Right on the money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
Unbelievable.
I'm almost, a Metacritic whisperer.
Almost too accurate.
What do you say?
Wow.
Accusations being made.
Wait, no,
That's insane.
I leveled no accusations anywhere, mate. I'm just we're just saying words here. No
Implication was there.
Implication was there. Sam, Mortal Kombat. Do you say 10 or X? I don't know.
Whatever.
Well, that one.
I say
Yeah.
cross.
No, it's a capital X.
I've got no idea. I have no idea. I don't know. Users.
That is wrong.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Users were not. They're usually not kind to Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay. So critics were higher. I'm going to say critics gave it a fair shake and gave it a 79.
83. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Wasn't
The
bad.
next one was. I fell asleep during the grand finals of Mortal Kombat 11 at Evo. I was at Evo, not at my house watching it on the couch. No, I was at Evo, sitting there, and I fell asleep during Mortal Kombat 11's grand finals. Anyway.
Hello, cheerio. It's me, Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Ugh.
wow.
So, wasn't Syndicate in France?
No, that's the other one. The
Okay.
other one.
Yeah, of course. Oh, how could I have mixed up such...
Syndicate was a Victorian London, I believe.
Okay. Oh, God. Users?
That is wrong. What did the critics give it?
72.
76, in fact, is what they gave it.
Mm.
Sam, how about Halo 5 Guardians?
God, that's a bad...
That's not great. I'm wondering, I don't think either of them liked it, but who liked it the least? I think maybe critics were more generous. I think critics gave it a little bit higher than the users.
That's correct. What did they give it?
The critics, I think they probably gave it in the 60s. I'm going to give it a 67.
Way off.
Ah.
The critics said this is an 84, and the user said 64.
Mm.
Because I think... it was a long time ago, but I think that most of the review period, if not all of it, did not include multiplayer. And then the game shipped in kind of chaos on the multiplayer side.
Yes, that is true. I remember that being a disappointing Friday night. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. I'm never rooting against the Halo franchise, but man, is it hard to root for them these days. Or
Sure.
I don't know. We'll figure out a different word that doesn't offend Australia. It's hard to cheer for the Halo series.
There you go.
Definitely don't want to root Master Chief or anything.
Christ.
Unless you're on that CBS show. Yeah.
So speaking of multiplayer, there was an asymmetrical multiplayer phenomenon happening at this time in the form of Evolve.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh fuck. The users were kinder.
Wrong.
Wow. Okay. Well, they gave it a 52.
Also wrong. This one's brutal. Evolve got a 74 from critics and a 47 from users.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It didn't live up to the trailers, the hype, anything.
There was a lot of hype for this one. Yeah.
It had a good showing at E3 either that year or the year before, and it kind of coasted on that for a year. And when it came out, it didn't feel like the same game. And then they spent the rest of the time trying to balance the whole game because the monster was too OP.
Yes, I recall having I recall feeling I could see while you're developing it and you're like really familiar with how to play where that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
But on the first couple nights we were trying this game and it must have been free, right? I don't think I would have bought this. I don't know.
I think you were at Shack News or something, so
Yeah, maybe we got codes or something.
I think we had codes for it.
But I remember feeling like this is a joke. There's this huge dinosaur walking around that can step on you. Like we couldn't do anything.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't fun to watch either because team wipes were happening so quickly.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Sam, it is your turn, and your game is Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, man. Okay. I think it was quite close, but I think maybe critics edged it out with the higher score just a little bit.
Incorrect.
Unbelievable. Okay, then it's quite high. I think users maybe gave it 93.
Also incorrect. The only thing you were right about is it was very close, 88 to 89 in favor of users.
Ah.
Great game.
Oh, wonderful game. Also the second one.
Sad, but great.
Yes. Asif, what's the deal with Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain?
It was great. Critics.
That's right.
The Kojima game. 91.
You shockingly undershot it. 93.
Wow.
Critics, 83 user score.
His last Konami game.
Yes. A bad exit.
No, great exit. The game was great. The exit
Not
sucked.
the game. Not the game, the exit. Yeah.
But he wasn't even allowed to accept an award for it at the Game Awards, and Jeff cried. Sad. Jeff cried in front of all of us.
Sam, will you be crying or laughing when I reply to whatever your answer is for Cities Skylines?
Cities Skylines. Oh man, I don't know. I really have no idea. I think probably critics were higher on it.
Wow, your instincts have been off. So you should cry.
Off. Yeah.
That is wrong.
Okay, so the users loved it more than the critics. I think we're looking at an 89.
88, I'm sorry. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Not a bad instinct, just slightly off.
Man, that game's great. What was the critics on that?
85 to 88 in favor of users. Yeah.
I think Shack News gave it a 9.
I seem to recall a high Shack News review for that, yeah. Asif, are you familiar with this game entitled Rocket League?
Finally. Users.
Correct.
Because Ozzy gave it an 8.
Ozzy.
I think I have to go back and look. I have to make sure. But like Shack News Rocket League review. So I'm not Googling anything else. I just want to see. Yeah, Ozzy gave it an 8.
Well, we respect his opinion.
Look, it was a different game in 2015 in May or whatever when we were playing it for review. But it was still magical and it took the world over. So let's say 89.
87 is the right answer. I actually thought it would be higher, but I think to your point, you don't know how magical it is until it'll be like 4 weeks after launch. You've been playing every night, like, oh my god, this is going to change the world. And maybe that wasn't apparent immediately.
When you look around and you're like, none of us are playing shooters anymore. We're all playing this rocket-powered car soccer game. It took over the Shack News community. Like, a game hasn't gripped the internet like that. So, I would say that the next game to do that was Fortnite Battle Royale or maybe PUBG. But, it was on top of the world for, 4 years. And it just kept, it was getting better and better and better and better. And then they just started making goal explosions.
Give us UE5. Upgrade the engine.
No, they're all focused on Fortnite now.
Sam, we got a few left here. Sam, Until Dawn for PS4.
Critics preferred it.
That is wrong.
Why not?
Damn. Sam's just getting his ass handed to him here.
Oh,
this is bad luck.
Users preferred it to the tune of 82.
83.
Unbelievable. Joe.
This is brutal.
Oh.
Asif, Just Cause 3.
Oh God. Critics.
Correct.
Because users did not like it. It was okay, right? It wasn't a bad game, I don't think. I don't know why the users didn't like it. I want to say 75.
Close. 73 to 70. Critics take that one. I don't remember this being this year. I wonder if this is a re-release. I'm not sure. But Sam, Hotline Miami 2, wrong number.
Oh, Hotline Miami 2, wrong number. See, my initial thing is to say that users preferred it. So I'm going to go against my gut and say critics preferred it.
Incorrect.
Fucking
you can't do that midstream, man. You can't do that midstream. You can't do that. You gotta go with your gut. Even if your gut's wrong. Shooters gotta shoot.
You gotta double negative it.
Man, I've been going with my gut the past 8.
I know.
And it's been wrong.
But you've been really close, Sam.
Oh, but it's a 50-50. There's no other way to be other than really close.
No. I mean about the scores. You've been very close.
You have been close on the scores.
I'm still going to go with the gut with the score, but we'll see. So, okay. So the users preferred it. Is that right?
Right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, Joe, they preferred it to 86.
76.
Damn.
In this case is the right answer, unfortunately.
Maybe don't go with your gut next time.
I don't know what I'm going to go with. Go with my hand. We'll see.
Your hand, your wrist.
Yeah.
Asif, your final question
Oh boy.
is, of course, Pillars of Eternity.
Oh. Ooh. Critics.
That's right.
91.
A bit too high, 89 for Pillars. Sam, the final question goes to you.
Yeah.
Another pillar of our multiplayer gaming infrastructure, like Rocket League, Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, users prefer it.
That's right.
Yeah, he's on the board again. Here we go. They really like it. I'm thinking 89.
Shockingly low, although I'd say maybe this game, developed its fandom more slowly than I recall, but 76 is the
It's not that. It's that a lot of people shit on it just because it has like one bad season or something. So it's like, it's such an old game at this point that you're looking at present day user scores, right?
So it's present day, yeah.
It's had this 10-year life, right? So there were times where it was probably closer to 80.
That's interesting. I wonder if Metacritic aggregates the DLC scores into this. I wouldn't think so, but maybe that is happening.
No, but like you're gonna have people that rate the base game based on their experience with like the latest expansion or the latest season or something, and that game's had so many seasons,
right?
And it's like a huge esport, and like all it takes is one bad update, and everyone shits on your game until you fix it, right? So like you've seen it with Steam review bombings, like they use Metacritic. There's like they bomb Metacritic scores too. So I'm not saying that's happened to that. Yeah.
This is what you have to do in your head. This is the processing that's necessary to get 12 points out of 15.
I was trying. I was actively trying.
I know, I'm teasing you.
I was too.
Congratulations, Asif. 12-6. A pretty firm victory.
Wow. Nicely done.
I'm doing well in these Metacritic games that you've created. I think I won the last Metacritic game you did too.
Well, let's just as a reminder, I don't want to take any legal credit for this one, but yes.
Whatever. Like the game that you just presided over.
Watch it get sued.
yeah. Well, this segment wasn't trademarked by Shaq, so just sue Joe Stasio, not me. Anyway.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Well done.
I do want to add something here at the end, Joe. And thank you for putting together these clues, at least for the game, even though you stole the intellectual properties from a min-max commenter. This is a little bit of sports media news here, but you know the show Around the Horn, Joe?
By name, I have to look up who's on that.
It's hosted by Tony Reale, and it's a game where 4 journalists are invited on each day, and they debate. He calls it a game of competitive banter. And I feel like that's kind of what you do here in this segment. But yeah, shout out to Around the Horn. I think it was like 28 seasons or something crazy that was on. And
the finale, I see. Okay.
Yeah, the finale is going to be Friday when this podcast airs. So folks who have watched Around the Horn at any point in time, like Tony Reale put a lot of journalists on television that had just been, writing news before then. So I think it was a cool idea, and you should steal some of his sound effects now that his show's being canceled. Because when you get a correct answer, he like adds like a ding. It's like ding ding ding. Like he gives you points, and when you say something stupid, he gives you minus points. And he also has a mute function. So he would mute people and be like, "You're full of shit." Like it's funny. It was really a funny show. And it's sad to see it go because it is like the last show on ESPN that really highlighted journalism like at all. So end of an era there.
I'm realizing I know about this by way of 30 Rock spoofing it and saying their equivalent was called sports shouting.
Yeah.
And it was just 5 people on the screen talking at the same time. It was pretty funny.
Competitive banter. Interesting concept. I would like to see it come back in some way, but sign of the times over there at ESPN.
Indeed. Well, thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, good game. Thanks to anonymous min-max commenter. Great idea. We'll continue to use your ideas and credit you without knowing your name, but we'll be right back with story time. So stay tuned. Welcome to Story Time. Let's dive into the latest stories of the past week. It was a previewsa to end all previewsas this week. Not really, but
Previewsa to remember.
It was a previewsa to remember. Really brought to you by Ozzy Mejia mainly. Ozzy posted 3 previews all within like 2 hours of each other. He played Lies of P Overture, which is a is it fair to call it a DLC, Sam? Or is it
it's an expansion, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it an expansion, or is it? Okay,
Yeah,
it's expansion.
It's a full expansion.
So it brings you to at least the gameplay that we got to see. It was Ozzy playing at a frozen zoo where he had to take down a giant. Is it an alligator or a crocodile? What's the more vicious of the two?
I don't know.
This is an American podcast, so I'll say alligator.
But does Lies of P take place in America? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Isn't it England? Do they even have crocodiles?
Very England looking. I don't think so.
Anyway, it's a Souls-like where you play as Pinocchio, and this is the expansion of it. It looks really cool. You got like new regions to play, new enemies. It seems like they added more weapons and I don't know, armor or whatever the hell you upgrade in that game.
Mm-hmm.
There's gameplay up on Shack News of it if you want to see Ozzy defeat the giant. It's either a giant crocodile or alligator. I'm not entirely sure. Someone comment and let us know which is more vicious. I'm sure our listeners will have a better idea.
I think it's crocodile because I can hear like a Animal Planet guy saying it in my head.
Yeah, like Steve Irwin being like, they're the most vicious. Yeah, and then he like comes over to America and he's like, what are these gators? Like gators are kind of smaller in my opinion.
Right.
I lived in the bayou of Houston for a while or near there, so like I've come across several gators, but never a crocodile. Anyway, giant enemy battle in that game. It looks cool. Sam, what did you think of that game? I know you're a Souls player.
I never played it.
Wow.
Yeah, it must have come out when I was in the midst of something in another.
Probably Destiny 2.
Probably.
But yeah, Ozzy liked it, and he's not even really a big Souls guy. And like watching his gameplay, it's like he hadn't played the game in like 2 years. So I was watching him get better as he played. And I always think that's cool. Like when you come back to a game like that, you have to kind of get your bearings again.
Yeah.
But yeah, the gameplay systems, the art direction, like everything about that game is really good. Audio design is excellent. So this is just, if you liked the original game, this is worth getting, I would say. I won't be getting it because I'm terrible at this game. Ozzy got to play the Switch 2, guys.
Cool.
He played Yakuza 0, Director's Cut. He played the Red Light Raid Horde mode, and he played a little bit of the story. We have 4K gameplay up on Shack News of it. So if you want to check it out on YouTube, it's high quality video. I think it's our first 4K gameplay capture for Switch 2 on our Shack News channel. So that's pretty exciting times that we're capturing video game footage in 4K. Ozzy also got to play Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, which is Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, but for Switch 2. So they had to add an S or something to make it special. The demo that we uploaded gameplay of showcases the doubles play. So it's 2 people sharing one grid. That's gotta feel pretty weird. I don't really like Puyo Puyo much at all. So, whatever. Looks fine. I'm not falling over myself to get this at launch, I guess. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
I am patiently waiting for Enhanced Games to announce that they're going to make Tetris Effect better on Switch 2. Because I already have it for Switch, right? So if you want to do one of those enhanced editions, I'd pay the $10.
Sure.
But I'll probably skip this Puyo Puyo. But if you're into that, and you want like a fun puzzle party game, a multiplayer game at launch, it's going to be a viable option for that. Or you could just play Tetris Effect. And then last but not least, Lucas White at PAX East played Gimmiko, which is a Vampire Survivors game with dice and middle fingers. So like a lot of the progression of this game revolves around attaching things to dice, like different power-ups and stuff. And instead of like the treasure chest mechanic, it's like however many times you roll the dice gives you a better chance of progressing and upgrading different things. Interesting concept. Cute little 16-bit chibi kind of art style. And yeah, it's got attitude.
The That game was actually part of Game Maker's Toolkit's Game Jam.
Oh,
So they, submitted it and then now have since fleshed it out into a full game, it's incredible to see. Love it. Love that.
oh, so the game is still available to download and play over on itch if you want to just try it out. But they also have a demo on Steam. So he only played a little bit at PAX, but he also came home and immediately downloaded the demo. So it sounds good.
Looks good. Looks like a GBA game.
It does have that GBA vibe, but I like the combination of gameplay mechanics that they've chosen here. I think that's interesting. And yeah, PAX is good for at least like 4 of those every year. You go to a PAX and you come out of there and you're like, here's Gimmiko, or here's Just Shapes and Beats. You know what I mean? Like random indie games that end up being awesome. So that's Previewza, trademarked. Preview Palooza from your friends at Shacknewza. On to Reviewza, which is a Reviews Palooza from your friends at Shacknewza. Deliver at all costs. This is a delivery game. Not surprising, I guess. I believe Ozzy reviewed it for us, right?
Yep.
Everything in the game is destructible. Like the environments it's like entirely destructible, and that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Isometric destructibility. That's new. I've never seen that before.
Have not really seen that in these games. So yeah, it's got that like Desperados or that third person perspective. But you can do some really funny things in the game. The premise is pretty great. Intuitive driving controls. Ozzy did not like it though. Said that the story was mundane. It had a very bad it had a bad waypoint system. The upgrade system was superfluous.
Yeah.
Uninteresting characters.
The story kind of like mismatches with the chaotic nature, and they play the story way too serious. And he was saying that it could have worked if they had played it so straight that it kind of looped around into being absurdist, but there was just this misalignment there.
Mm-hmm. So 6 out of 10. Not great.
Nah, kind of misses the mark.
It's a day ending in Y, which means there's a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Tactical Takedown. This is XCOM with turtles.
Looks to be that way. Yeah. Well, it's more of a grid. It's like closer to a Fire Emblem. Right?
It is a beat 'em up, but it's turn based.
Mm.
But yeah, this is. I don't want to spend too much time.
Lucas loved it.
Lucas liked it.
Yeah. Gave it a 9. I think.
Oh no. I know. But I'm just like, I think just saying Turtles XCOM is really and all I need to say.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like XCOM's a good game. Turtles are a great IP. This works. It's not.
It surprisingly works as well.
It's not like Mario and Rabbids level of production here, but it's good.
I think he was saying how it's similar to Metal Slug Tactics, where you have a run and gun game. How could it possibly translate into this turn-based tactics? And it does incredibly well. So
we're finding that though.
Cool.
Like we're seeing that. Like I feel like Mario and Rabbids was the tipping point for this, where the genre is like, you know what? We could just put anything in this genre and it'll work somehow.
Yeah.
And then occasionally you still get really cool independent games come out of this too. But yeah, if you're into these types of games, or if you just love the turtles, I think this is a game to pick up. Yeah, I didn't mean to gloss over it like, in a bad way. I'm just like, it got a 9, and it's XCOM with turtles. Like it's good. Ozzy just I don't know. He's done so much this week, and obviously, like if he's posting these this week, it means he's been playing these games for weeks. So Ozzy reviewed Monster Train 2. Gave it a 9 out of 10 as well, Sam. Had a lot of nice things to say about it. Deep strategies across multiple clans, multiple ways to play it, entertaining story encounters, complex game mechanics become easier to grasp over time. The only cons he had are unlocks come painfully slow, and some runs just come down to luck. I mean, that's the case with every roguelite, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks good. It's not my kind of game, but I think it's fine. And it's a sequel, and it's out now, so people can go play it, try it.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 of Shack News. It's out on Steam, so PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch. And it only costs $25, which in this world where games allegedly cost $90, 25 is not too bad. That's a Devolver joint too, right? Believe so. Yeah, Devolver
Just close the
published
tab.
it.
Nice.
Yeah, Devolver published it. TJ reviewed Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny Remaster. He called it a peak feudal action dating sim. And even an 8 out of 10. Did you play this? Or you played an Onimusha game recently, right, Joe?
February, I played the first one of these remasters that Capcom put out.
That's right. Okay. And did you enjoyed it?
I did. I mean, like most old games, it's more of like a severe curiosity that's now been like an itch that's been scratched. I don't know that I'm like dying to dive back into this, but this does look different enough.
Mm-hmm.
The dating sim aspects were not there in the first game, so
yeah. And I think this is where the series gets goofy or goofier. But yeah, 8 out of 10. He said there's some camera issues, frame rate drops here and there. The relationship system is unforgiving and pivotal, and grinding gold for gifts is a bit of a time sink. But tons of quality of life improvements. Combat is responsive. Quite a few main weapons to claim and master. The relationship stuff changes the flow of the story heavily. So it's not going to just be the same old game if you play it. And he said, yeah, plenty of replayability between the branching story and the challenges. So that's cool.
Cool.
Like I said, 8 out of 10. Blades of Fire. Oh, that's that Mercury Steam game.
That's right. The Metroid dev takes a swing at an original concept.
It's like
it seems like a God of War with some like very strange original ideas that based on this review maybe don't come together. Did you see that like the face buttons are directional swings in this game? So like, you know, X is to swing from the left,
yeah,
and B would be from the right. It's wild.
Interesting take, I guess. And it is like a brand new IP.
Yes.
One of the cons, he just says it's annoying. It's interesting, distinct gameplay ideas, fun. Yeah, menus, lore, and art. He says the Souls-like components take away from the more experimental ideas in the game. It just seems like a game with a bunch of different mechanics thrown in, and like, let's see how it turns out. Turned out to be a 6 out of 10 from Lucas.
It might be the kind of game that learns from itself and makes it a fantastic sequel. We hope.
Yeah. If they, in this industry, man, if you can make it to a sequel. Yeah.
That's true.
And, you know, they're a port house, so they could probably work on something to pay the bills while they're doing this. This definitely felt like a for them thing. Like they're actually getting to spread their wings a little bit, which I think is good.
Is this not the title of that Will Ferrell ice skating movie?
Blades of Fire.
Glory, right?
I'm so old, I remember the game Blades of Steel.
Yes, the ice skating movie is Blades of Glory. Blades of Steel is
an NES hockey game where you could fight. It was the first game that had fighting.
There you go, 1987.
Yeah, that's how old I am.
Wow.
Anyway, our last review came from Jan, who is basically our simulator expert. He played Roadcraft for us. And I believe this is from Saber Interactive and Focus Entertainment, right? They're kind of known for these big truck game kind of games, right? Mm-hmm. Do you want to build a flood wall, Joe?
Never thought about it before.
This is the game for you if you do. I did capture, Jan captured some funny gameplay because you can drive in first person or third person, and he was driving in first person, and he did not see a giant ditch in the road that he was on, and he drove straight into the ditch, rolled his truck over, but was able to get out of the situation using the winch on the front of his vehicle. I was impressed because I was like, that's the emergent gameplay I come to these games for. So yeah, it's like a flooded area that you have to like fix the roads. And yeah, you're building like levees and stuff. It's like infrastructure focused, all sorts of vehicles like bulldozer, backhoes, like semi trucks, regular pickup trucks. So you got a lot of variety in the gameplay that you're going to have here, but it is slow, right? And it's not all smooth. Some of you have to, there's only like one solution to these things. It's not like a city builder, right?
Okay.
So if you make one mistake while you're building a road, backtracking can be a little annoying or difficult to do. So yeah, there's definitely like route management that is part of the game. He did say that the missions get repetitive, and I was gonna say like you have a lot of different vehicles, but it really boils down to like a certain subset of like, here are the things you can do in this game.
I could see that being it's like the people that get into this are, pretending to drive a truck across the country, and like, what is that if not repetitive? So that actually might,
it makes
people
sense.
might appreciate that, right? Like it's like a job after their job.
Yeah, it's kind of like a power wash sim. Like it's the same thing every level, but it's a different thing that you're doing, and these are different maps, and like he mentions that the map and the locations are like very well crafted, and you do have a really good variety of vehicles, and they're very detailed, not just on the outside but on the inside in that first person view, and you do have some freedom to approach each mission. It has a co-op mode, but the controls are a little weird, and there are some minor bugs in the UI UX that are a little blemish on the game. They gave it an 8 out of 10, and if he doesn't like a game, he'll destroy it. So 8 with a little bit of bugs, I think, is a huge endorsement from Jan for this game. It ran well on his PC. It looks really nice. It really does.
It does.
And it's coming to Series X PC, or Series X and S PC on Steam and on PlayStation 5. I wonder if we start to see some of these come to Switch too.
Mouse controls.
I don't know if I would want mouse controls in this game, but some other like there's a game that came, or companies are starting to do like their own like video presentations for some of their Switch games. I feel like, if I can find it, I can't find it. Anyway, Koei Tecmo posted gameplay of it. I'm trying to find. I uploaded a lot of videos today, guys. Sorry. Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening Collector's Edition for Switch 2. Koei Tecmo did a stream, I think either last night or this morning. We're recording on Thursday, where they showed off their game running with the Switch 2 mouse controls. So we're starting to see these like sim games starting to show up with mouse controls, and it doesn't seem too hard. All the devs seem really happy with mouse controls. And it's like, it's just an interesting way to play games, because your left hand, you're using it like a traditional Joy-Con, but your right hand is the mouse.
Yeah, that's the dream. I mean, that's what I'm missing. Like I was, when I was trying Doom, right? Like I don't like this keyboard feel, but the mouse is amazing. So like, that's what I'm craving. That sounds good.
And I think it's really going to shine in Metroid when that comes out.
Sure.
But yeah, that was Revuza. Sorry. Yeah. A little detour there, but yeah, Roadcraft, 8 out of 10 from Jan. On to Nuza. We got this huge info dump for Mario Kart World. It was an Ask the Developers, like a 4-parter. They had like 4 different gameplay videos. One of them was Baby Peach playing one of them. So we're starting to get an idea of what you're going to do in the open world, Joe. And there's P switches, and you hit a P switch and a challenge appears. And this one was like, collect the coins on a tightrope. So like, there's Baby Peach, and she's doing barrel rolls across these tight ropes. And it's maybe like a 30-second to a minute challenge, and then you're on your way. But it gave me like, it kind of, I'm like wondering if this is going to be like Sonic Frontiers, but not garbage performance. Because like you're like rail grinding and barrel rolling and stuff. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Another video showed Mario just kind of driving in the desert and jumping off of stuff for fun. So it does seem like you can just drive. You don't have to do any of this stuff if you don't want to.
For the kiddos.
Yeah, I think that's going to be huge. And then maybe most importantly, they said there are going to be 200 songs in the game.
Jeez.
200 songs. One of which is the Super Mario Bros. 3 Overworld theme, which is like, I don't know, one of my favorite video game songs of all time. And of course, it's been remade by that amazing group of musicians that I don't know who that the Mario Kart Orchestra is, but they're amazing.
Yes.
And they also showed us the main menu theme song. It's great. I think the main menu is pretty charming too. But yeah, I am more excited for this game after what they showed us yesterday. They showed us a couple.
For you.
Yeah.
Day one, Switch launch. Do we get the soundtrack on Nintendo Music on that day?
Nope. Mm-hmm. We don't even have F-Zero 99. on Nintendo Music. So no.
If they are not going to sell the soundtrack, which presumably that's not what they're going to do, they don't do that, then why not?
Here's my thought on it. They want you to want to play the game to hear the music.
No, that's fair.
I really think that's what it boils down to. And when the game is maybe less popular, or, a year or two from now, you'll start to see that music appear over there. What this does create is a huge opportunity for Shack News to capture all of the music and upload it to YouTube before they put it on Nintendo Music.
Bang.
That's really what it tells me, is that there is a huge opportunity for us to capture music before they upload it. Now, like what I thought was weird, we just had the Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition come out, like a month or two ago?
Yep.
Why didn't those songs hit Switch? Why didn't those songs hit Nintendo Music day and date? Because they've been out for like 10 years.
Xenoblade's a strange one because I think that stuff is syndicated on streaming. I know, like, at the very least, like, Definitive Edition is.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be under a different licensing agreement than this, like,
than Nintendo owned. Yeah. But that's weird, though, because, like, Monolith is fully owned by Nintendo now. But they might you're right.
That's true. Maybe they weren't when that game came out. I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe it was also a music license thing. So yeah, you're right. That is but that was one where I thought that was obvious. Because, like, going back to when Nintendo Music launched, I got back into Animal Crossing solely because I was listening to the Animal Crossing music in the app. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go play the game. And like, it's happened with me multiple times now where I played Dr. Mario's music and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to play with Dr. Mario on the Game Boy app. So it is that halo that Nintendo has tried to build with their IP, their mobile apps, the movies, the amusement parks. Like, it's all starting to kind of come together. But I agree, it would be smart for them to start using Nintendo Music to promote new games. But I have a feeling, especially with this, is they want you in the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, they want you in that game before they do that. Now, that being said, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, all that music's there, and it's one of the best soundtracks on that app. And also F-Zero X is on there, and that's also a really great soundtrack. So yeah, it would be nice of them to do that. While we're on the topic of Nintendo Switch Online subscriptions, where is Diddy Kong Racing?
It beats me.
Like, that's a game that I want to play on Switch Online, and I don't know what they're doing.
I guess they've got Mario Kart, and they see that as the pinnacle.
I know. But then why are we getting Kirby Air Riders? That's another racing game within a year. And
I don't know.
No one can explain that one. Kirby Air Riders still is like the biggest head scratcher from that direct. I was like, what? Okay. And then Senua Saga Hellblade 2 is coming to PS5. Joe's decision to sell his Xbox becomes even better in retrospect.
Even your PS5's an Xbox, mate. How about that?
That's right. I have so many Xboxes in my house. I have like 8 Xboxes apparently.
I have a toaster oven. It's an Xbox. I have a Bluetooth speaker. That's an Xbox.
Right.
It's great. It's great. Because when you're not winning, you rebrand and like you recontextualize what it means to be winning. And then you win.
You know what? Let me say this very briefly. I'm surprised how much I'm enjoying Game Pass on the PC. It's like largely the same.
At having a library. Oh, okay. Right.
Well, I had it on Xbox for 6 years. And I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm making use of it. It's largely the same library. It works great. I don't know. It just feels so much more valuable on the PC, and I don't know what I mean by that, but it's just how it feels.
Maybe it's because the performance, like your PC's performance, is factoring into you trying different games.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Right? Like, because especially if you have Game Pass and a Series S. Like, Doom's not going to be... Like, Doom will run. And yeah, it's Game Pass day one. I think that's the thing, Joe. It's like being able to play first-party Xbox software day one without an Xbox. That's cool.
That is cool.
It's a valuable thing. It killed their hardware. Like, it just... like...
I mean, it literally did. I am a case study.
It 1000% killed their hardware. But, yeah, if you have a nice PC... It is a pretty good value. If you download, I don't know the math now. What's the monthly cost of it? But like, I think it's if you download 3 $60 games a year, you're breaking even.
Right.
Or 4. I can't remember what the math is on it. But like, it's likely that you will try 4 at least. But in this world of Game Pass, this new, you mentioned the framing, right? Framing the success of a game by saying it's reached 3 million people, which is what they said about Doom. It's not the same as selling 3 million units.
Sure.
It's a fraction of that revenue-wise. So I'm not saying that Game Pass is bad for consumers. It's actually pretty good right now. I am saying I maintain it's bad for developers. It's bad for the Xbox ecosystem. But they're redefining what an Xbox is, to Sam's point. So your Tesla's an Xbox. Anyway, on to Industruza. Didn't have a whole lot of news because all of our news editors are like on assignment, Sam. It's been a ghost town at Shack News Slack this week.
Yeah.
I've had to write news. In fact, this first story in Industruza, I wrote it. OpenAI announces acquisition of former Apple designer Jony Ive's AI startup. And then they made this really weird 10-minute video. Did you watch the video, Joe?
This is the exact kind of content I would just simply opt out of. So no.
It's awkward.
Self-aggrandizing.
Yes. And why do people look at Sam Altman as this Einstein or Nikola Tesla? Like, why is he this poster child of generative AI?
Because he's got the same last name as the philosophical and religious leader of the Dead Space series.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that is why.
Okay, that makes sense. Never mind. I withdraw my question or criticism. My point is, Jony Ive, famously Steve Jobs' best friend, right? Worked with him forever, designed the iMac, designed the MacBook Air, designer of the iPhone, industrial designer, right? Then he went on to destroy iOS because he's a horrible software designer. I don't know how you feel about things, Joe, but skeuomorphism versus Jony Ive's flat version, I sided with skeuomorphism, and that was definitely a Steve Jobs philosophy of making Apple's book app feel like you were turning the page, or the flicking your finger to making scrolling through your phone feel like a Rolodex. Those are that merger of real life gestures into software that I feel like I've never really understood because he came from hardware, and Tim Cook, when he lost Scott Forstall, put Jony Ive in charge of software design, which I never understood that.
Yeah. But he's also he was the guy that, I don't know if popularized is the right word, but I feel like he kicked off this domino effect where everything, logos in 5 years will be a single dot, right? This
minimalism,
this pursuit of hyper minimal to the point where you don't even know what you're looking at because it's so abstracted.
Yeah.
He was doing that before it was quote unquote cool.
And
I guess to his credit, I don't know.
And applying it to OS design though, which I hate. The thing I hate most about my iPhone is that persistent line at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Why? Does no one, if you have an iPhone and it has no home button, do you really not know how to get to the home screen in 2025? Do we still need that line? No. But there's a billion things that he's done since, I want to say it was iOS 7 was when he took over. And I know he's been gone for a while, but man, this is an indictment of how poorly things are going at Apple, by the way, that he wouldn't have returned to Apple to work on some sort of groundbreaking AI product, that he had to come to OpenAI to do this? Or was it that they paid him $6.5 billion for his company? Who knows? But he seems very excited about working with Altman on this, and that Altman said it's the best device he's ever used. They're already testing it. Altman said, AI is an incredible technology, but great tools require work at the intersection of technology, design, and understanding people in the world. That's straight stolen from the Steve Jobs talk. He always talked about sitting at the intersection of humanities and technology. No one can do this like Jony and his team. The amount of care they put into every aspect of the process is extraordinary. Jony Ive on this next step said, I have a growing sense that everything I have learned over the last 30 years has led me to this moment. While I am both anxious and excited about the responsibility of the substantial work ahead, I am so grateful for the opportunity and the $6.5 billion. The values and vision of Sam and the teams at OpenAI and IO, which is their new division, are a rare inspiration. This company has been valued at $300 billion, and they lose billions and billions of dollars a year. Is this going to stop the bleeding? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. We know that Humane AI Pin failed, right? And we know that Rabbit R1 is kind of limping along. Apple Intelligence is a dead on arrival product or service. Microsoft's seeing some success with Copilot, right? Google just showed off. I don't think you mentioned it, but Google just showed off a ton of features in the AI space. They have this. It's like a computer vision AI that they're bringing to various platforms, including phones. So I guess what I'm saying is a very competitive space, and I think that Altman and Ive here are just trying to make some headlines, draw some attention, and maybe make their investors happy in the short run. I'll just end on this. The difference between Sam Altman and Steve Jobs is that Steve Jobs knew how to make money. He knew how to sell. And I don't think Sam Altman knows how to sell. I don't know if he cares about actually making money. He might not. His goal might just be artificial general intelligence, right? AGI, as they call it. And if that's the case, fine. But you're a for-profit company now, and you're doing things that seem to be for-profit, but you also said you're incapable of training your LLM without stealing content. It just feels weird to me, I guess is what I'm saying, guys. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you know how I feel about this, so.
Yeah.
But the listeners don't, I guess.
Yeah. How do you feel about seeing Apple's design guru working at OpenAI on a product that he thinks is going to be as revolutionary as the iPhone? Well,
I don't believe it.
Right? That's hard to believe.
because the iPhone is the intersection of,
all those
fantastic execution. I don't know when Ives was involved. Was he there at the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
So
very
fantastic execution, and like you said, the business sense and that like really super macro level vision of what it had to be. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, based on the past 2 years, it's hard to look at Altman and have the faith, or the faith, I should say, that he has that kind of, I don't see that he sees the forest for the trees. I think he's stuck in the trees.
I think he's staring at one tree.
Yeah. Sure.
And all the other trees are on fire, and he's just staring at the tree. Yeah, hey, look at this tree. It's right. Like, hey, Polygon just got sold. Oh, who cares about that? Look at this tree. I ask this question a lot, and I'll ask it on dev calls. I'll ask it on staff calls. I'll just talk to a random person at, I don't know, Bennigan's about this. There are no Bennigan's in Canada. I'm lying.
R.I.P.
If AI is to train on media, be it television, YouTube, written editorial, David Craddock's long reads, whatever, and it's going to take all of our content and provide it to people as the search results or the query results or the prompt results, in whatever platform, OpenAI, Claude, whatever you're talking about, and it steals the page views. Say it's from IGN, right? IGN runs off of an ad model. They have great guides and articles and interviews with Miyamoto. All of that gets taken away from IGN or away from the publisher and is displayed on the search result page or the prompt result page. And everyone goes bankrupt. Every single media outlet goes bankrupt. That next day, what is the LLM training on?
Probably itself.
At which point it gets dumber?
Yes.
So it's like everyone who's cheering for the death of media and saying that AI will replace us, I don't think I understand how this works.
Mm.
And I think Altman does understand how it works, and he's been very transparent about not knowing how to bridge this gap. Like, how are people going to be compensated for this? How are media outlets going to be compensated for this? Because if they're not, this will destroy all media. And then leave us with it'll leave us with less information and harder to find information than we currently have or we had even a few years ago. So there's all these like, oh man, he's such an amazing thinker. And I'm like, I have never heard him answer that question. I've never even heard him bring it up. And I think it's the biggest problem that all these AI companies face. It's a chicken and the egg thing. And I bring it up from time to time, but I do it because like, I don't think people are thinking this through.
It's the most important question. It's the question is, how does this thing exist in a vacuum? And there's only two answers to the question, two potential outcomes. It doesn't, because there's nothing to feed on it. Or the more troubling outcome is the AI will learn to watch the movie so that it can write a review. And like, if that's the outcome, I don't care what the AI thinks. I like what Ebert thinks.
Yeah, like
he was a character.
like opinion-driven editorial, I think is going to be the last frontier for AI.
Mm-hmm.
Figuring out how to play video games, like it's already doing that, right? But you're right. How long are we away from that? But also, like, this is where I, talk about from the financial perspective. Companies are spending hundreds of billions of dollars on these server farms, right? And on the chips and all that shit. If this does not pay off, it's going to be a collapse unlike any we've ever seen. Like, it's going to make the .com bubble look like a tea party. It's going to make the housing bubble look like nothing, because we're talking about multi-trillion-dollar companies, right? Microsoft, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Google, Tesla, Nvidia. Nvidia's not doing this. Everyone else, though, they're spending hundreds of billions of dollars. OpenAI is not even publicly traded. They're spending billions creating these server farms, training their data. If they don't answer my question, I fear that it's all going to be for naught, and it will be the biggest waste of money in the history of mankind. I hope I'm wrong, but I have seen no evidence that I am. And if you feel differently and you're listening to me say this right now, comment and let me know why I'm wrong. But until I have an answer to that question, I remain extremely skeptical about the whole thing. But anyway, speaking of stealing...
Ooh, good segue.
Thank you. That's why we are the fastest growing games podcast, because I have stuff like that in my back pocket. An artist has claimed, and it's come to fruition, that Bungie used her assets for Marathon without permission. Sam, I believe you wrote the story when it broke. The anti-real, or N2, N squared, I believe is what they go by.
Anti-real, yeah. She's got a couple of different monikers.
And she's been posting artwork for what, like 8 years?
Yeah, since like 2017, I think, if memory serves me.
Yeah. And like, it's straight up the art style that they used for Marathon.
It's not just art style, it's literal assets.
Little posters.
They put her logo. It's her logo. Yeah.
As well as the the language of the artwork itself, in terms of having the dot matrix looking.
Yeah, that ASCII. Yeah. Like her design language ASCII art. That is like straight up lifted and is used in Marathon promotional materials.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems at the moment, and all of these little things that have been cropping up have been little bells, right? They're just little bells that you hear ringing, but then all together, this is kind of like a death knell. It's really not in a good spot at the moment. I will still play it. I will still play Marathon for however long Bungie wants to support it, or until I get bored. But I don't know that it's gonna be around for very long if they can't address these things and they can't address the core problems that are happening. It's very concerning.
So they issued a statement after our article went live. We updated the article to include their statement. I'm just going to read it before we move on. We immediately investigated a concern regarding, this is from the Marathon dev team on Twitter. We immediately investigated a concern regarding unauthorized use of artist decals in Marathon and confirmed that a former Bungie artist, that's a very weird way to say that, included these in a texture sheet that was ultimately used in-game. This issue was unknown by our existing art team. This is me talking. That to me is a sign of a bigger problem, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
That's a sign of poor management.
Yeah.
And then this is them again. And we're still reviewing how this oversight occurred, so they don't even know. We take matters like this very seriously. This is not the first time this has happened at Bungie. We have reached out to Anti-Real to discuss this issue and are committed to doing right by the artist. Oh, okay. How? As a matter of policy, we do not use the work of artists without their permission. Well, you did.
It's all good and well to have policy, but also how do you... Like, legitimate question, how do you actually monitor this? How do you ensure that this doesn't happen? How do you possibly receive artwork from an artist and be like, hold up, let me just quickly compare this to every bit of
everything on the internet?
I can answer this question. This is not like the way you're framing that implies that like there is no close working relationship between these designers. If I'm managing the person who turns this work in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am expecting to see source material that would very obviously indicate that they created the thing.
Right.
You could
Like
not
draft.
fake.
Right.
Sure, right. There's like the work in progress stuff. I guess that's one way, but I just mean like the set of documents that would be required to generate the assets that I'm looking at. You would not be able to fake it, which means that the manager, that seems like they're throwing the actual like IC under the bus, but the manager who received this work is obviously like in La La Land, or not paying attention or something, because it would be so clear as day if I just got turned in. Oh, wow, that's really good looking. Okay, see you next week. It's like, no, how about our like asset repository? Like, give me all of these labels and every single geometric line that you use to create them. I would, if it's me, I would know in 10 minutes that they didn't make it.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm smart. I'm just saying like, that's just like the design process would include source material.
You also understand what it means to manage a design process or be managed in a design process. And like, that's why when I read their statement, it's like, yeah, it's great that you have this policy in place, but your manager fucked up. Like if this got through and they like to blame it on a former artist here too, Joe, like it's still the manager's fault.
It's always the manager's fault. The manager is not managing. And it's not, just to really put a fine point on it. It doesn't mean like you are, as a design manager, you're not like reverse image searching. Let me make sure they didn't plagiarize. I'm just saying, as part of the process of generating assets like this, you would inherently create countless documents that would themselves be evidence that you made this work.
Yeah.
It's just,
that makes sense.
It's just one more problem on a laundry list of issues. And I dragged a quick article in the general chat here from our friend Paul Tassi, who did an article about it's just, and the title of it is "It's Just Over for Marathon," which is just a massive indictment coming from a guy who, is quite measured with his wording and analysis of this the piece. And I see where he's coming from. He talks about the artwork problem, the core concept problem. How do you even bridge the gap between casual players and hardcore players? And how do you, it's this niche market. And
even you said it in this news story. This is not a good look for Bungie, especially with the lukewarm reception to the alpha. Like, even you weren't 100% sold on the alpha, Sam. Like,
I wasn't. I'm still
and
not.
That's like, and this is not, this did not make me want to play it at all. Because like, the one thing that I said nice about Marathon when you were on, I think you were on this podcast talking about Marathon Alpha with us. I was like, the thing I like about it is the art direction.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing I liked. It was like the one nice thing I had to say about this game. Yeah. And it's fucking lifted.
They stole some really nice stuff.
Anti-Real, you're dope as hell. You make cool shit. Hell yeah. Shout out Anti-Real. She's got like a really cool vibe and style to her art. And I thought it translated very well over. But you think about every single time they were promoting this game, her work was there. Like those, even early on, those like the website with the teaser or the flyers like that they were posting on social, Sam, they were using her design the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like all the hype that was building up. That's just, it's an indictment of Bungie, how things are operating there. I think it's also an indictment of post Sony acquisition Bungie. And this is terrible. He's saying it's just over for Marathon. I'd take it a step further. I think it might be over for Bungie.
I don't know. See, I don't know that I'd take it that step far, because it's like that name, the Bungie name, like that's kind of what you buy with $3.6 billion or however much it was.
Yeah.
Like, I think dissolving the developers, that the developers aren't what they are. I don't know. What am I trying to say here? When you think of Bungie, you think about the Halo, you think about Destiny, you think about all this stuff. And yeah, the developers come and go and they're integral and they make Bungie what it is. But I think in terms of like brand appeal, if you just dissolve the Bungie name, yeah, you keep all these great workers. You also lose the name that's been around for, 3 decades or something.
Yeah, but they get to take a $3 billion write-down on their earnings.
Is it not already?
No, because it's capitalized on the balance sheet as goodwill when you acquire a company. So then when you shut down the company or you write it down to zero, you take that off the balance sheet and your income statement takes a $3 billion loss. So if you have $3 billion of profit to offset it, you don't have to pay any taxes.
Mm.
I'm not saying it's like a great, I'm not saying this is like, I'm not saying this is a great outcome. I'm saying this is what I think could happen because of how bad the situation is.
Yeah.
Is that I said it when they acquired Bungie. I thought they acquired it for too much. Like, I think $4 billion was too much for this. And they're never going to make that money. Docket. Yeah. They were never going to make the money back. So now it's like super clear that they bought a shit show, right? They bought Destiny 2 in a weird place, and then the Final Shape came through and it kind of landed the plane. But then this. Yeah. It's like they can't go a year without some kind of disaster. And you look around at Sony first party studios, man, they're not doing this shit. Like, this isn't happening at Naughty Dog. It's not happening at Santa Monica. So like, I think the parent company is going to step in soon. And I think you're going to see a studio head thrown out on their ass or something. Like, this can't happen and all the managers get to stay in place. Yeah. This cannot happen. Like, someone's got to go.
When does the final payout for Sony occur with Bungie?
I think it's probably already happened. Or there's like stock option compensation that I don't know. But anyway.
You got to wonder, are they just kind of holding on until that final payment comes and then, the upper
I think the deal's already closed. Like, I think that's already happened. Like, individual compensation is probably still out there, Sam, but like, I don't know. They're not too public about those deals. Except for like the large amount. But yeah, at the very least, this is not the same Bungie that made Halo 3. I'll tell you that much.
Right. Yeah.
And that game's good. Mm-hmm. Anyway, on to Apple sucking again. Fortnite is back on the US App Store, baby. 5-year absence.
That's crazy.
Back.
That's such a long time.
Congratulations to Tim Sweeney. His constant trolling of Tim Cook on Twitter finally paid off. I don't know. It's like, there was a thread in the chatty, surprisingly, about video games. I think it was a Shack News article. Where if someone's like, oh, Nintendo's a bad company, I'm like, name a good company, not just in the video game industry, in any industry. Like, name a company, oh, that's a good company. Like, we've watched Apple turn into the very company that they used to rail against in the 80s. Like, Apple became that which they used to be against, with how they've behaved with the App Store and sitting on their hands trying to delay the submission of, or the approval of Fortnite on the App Store. Like, Joe, we've submitted our app, Shack Pets, to the App Store, I don't know, probably 100 times over the last few years.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
It's never taken them more than 2 days. Ever.
Oh, the speed's not a big deal.
Approval. And they sat on this for like 2 weeks. Epic had to file a motion to respond to an injunction. Like, it was a whole... Epic was like, they were about to go back to court again over this. And it's like, how many times do we need to litigate this? It's obvious that the iOS App Store is monopolistic at best. And the 30% fee is pulled out of their ass. So it's like, and it became really clear throughout the last month that Apple was straight up lying about these things. Apple, in emails between executives, were planning on how to lie.
Judge Rogers had a field day.
Yeah. So, like, it's just, I think this is a terrible look for Apple. Yes, it's a win for Epic, and yes, Epic Games is now, they got their cash cow back, because being an app on the App Store with microtransactions, you make money. They made about 30% of their money in 2019 from Fortnite off of iOS. So this is like a big deal financially for Epic, and maybe this will open the door to an IPO or something. And yes, this is a win for independent developers that make apps too. And if they bring the Epic Games Store over to Apple, I know Microsoft's trying to take advantage of this. This is where I don't like how things are playing out, because it's not like, this is not about making sure that Microsoft can have a store on iOS. It's not even about making sure Epic can have a store. It's about making it fair to accept payments on the platform. So to see a multi-billion-dollar company like Epic benefit, and then like the largest company on earth, Microsoft, benefit, I don't really view that as a win. I do view like the benefit that we'll get from it, or maybe we'll have optionality as to what store we want to list on iOS. But I guess Apple just looks the worst out of all of this. And it's now like back-to-back stories here where you have your design guru left your company and is now working at OpenAI, and Fortnite just dog walked you across every country when it came to this legal battle. And it was a David and Goliath situation. Apple has more money than most countries. Epic does not. And they hurt their company doing this. Pulling it from the store, they still would have made more money with the 30% fee than without it.
Yeah.
Like by not having Fortnite on iOS for 5 years.
It was a principled move, which is like crazy.
It's rare. You don't see that from corporations. And you know for a fact that internally at Epic, people disagreed with Tim's decision. They were like, this is going to hurt us financially. And then and people who had stock options, they had to delay the vesting period in some cases by like 8 years from when they were originally supposed to vest. Because a lot of people were there hoping an IPO was coming, right? And now it's like, maybe an IPO is coming, but we'll have to see. Well, that's going to do it for the show. We made it to the end of the show. How about that?
Nice. We did it.
Yeah. We have a few community notes before we go. Questions, comments from the Shack News community, which you can join and take over by heading over to shacknews.com/chatty or by emailing us at sam.chandler@shacknews.com. No one's going to email you, Sam. Don't worry about it.
I check my email, so I anticipate emails. Thank you. Please, I read them all. Only nice words.
Yeah, we have Has Mamu Corner here. He took to YouTube to issue this comment. Said, Asif using his Xbox is more than a heat shield to protect other devices? Sign of the apocalypse, winking emoji. And he even timestamped it.
We love that.
I'm using my Xbox to play Doom because I don't have a good enough computer and I don't want to pay tariff prices to build a computer right now.
I just checked and everything's in stock on Amazon right now. There's like tons of 9070 XTs. I don't know, the boat just arrived or what?
Yeah, because the delay of you're right. There were literally ships sitting outside of Long Beach with cards on them and amiibo and all sorts of stuff. I'm going to, if I build a PC, Joe, it's going to be built on the NVIDIA GPU framework. And I am not impressed with the high-end 5090 performance. Like, I think I'm going to wait for the, whatever the hell they call it, the TI.
TI, yeah.
Yeah, like
5080 is in stock too. Look at this. Wow.
It's just, if I'm building a PC, I want it to be good. And like,
for a long time.
Yeah, and I just don't feel like this 50 series is living up to expectations at all.
You are right to feel that way, I think.
No, I watch Gamers Nexus all the time, man. They're amazing at doing testing of these things, and they're super transparent about what's going on at NVIDIA as a company, too. I think they do a good job reporting on this stuff. But yeah, nothing has made me want to invest in a PC right now.
Yeah.
And then like the easy solution is I just go and I buy a pre-built that will at least play games better than my current rigs. But so much of my day, I'm editing video on a Mac. I don't need like a high performance PC to do that anymore. So I'm glad I bought I've said it multiple times this year. I'm really happy I bought my MacBook when I did. I wish it could play games, but yeah, right now, it's like, I think the two games I can point to where I'm like, I can't play these on PC and it's making me sad. Doom and Monster Hunter Wilds. But I think as Monster Hunter Wilds we've gotten further away from it, that's probably not the end of the world that I can't play that game. But yeah, I am using my Xbox. I plugged it into the USB, or not the USB, the HDMI. And once I'm done playing Doom, I will not be playing my Xbox anymore. I'll hopefully have a Switch 2 in hand. That's going to do it for today's show. Subscribe on your podcast app of choice and tune in every Friday for more Shack Together. If you like this and you made it this far, wow, this is a super fucking long episode. Go to your podcast voting facility, vote for Shack Together. Give us 5 stars, 10 out of 10 on Metacritic. That's a callback, Joe, to the...
Yes.
Or 100. I guess it'd be 100 on Metacritic. Do all those things. Sam, thank you for joining us in the Shack News Extended Podcast Universe, or the CPU as the kids are calling it. They're still calling it that, Joe?
I see. Yeah, wow, yes.
Are they talking about Blue Shirt Guy, too?
That's actually the only thing that's come... it's just spewing now, all Blue Shirt Guy stuff, yeah.
Like, that's what the AI is going to train itself on, is Blue Shirt Guy.
Yeah,
and then
AI will be like, and this is how you do the salsa correctly.
Yeah, and it's not. It's only 3 moves. Anyway, that's it. That's where we wave at the camera that's not on. We say, I'll never forget you. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening.
Bye, everybody.
Wow. Thanks, Sam. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack News is a multimedia company consisting of a variety of entertainment properties, including ShackNews.com, video game and cutting-edge technology coverage with evergreen video, guide, and long-read content, providing readers and viewers with the latest reviews, previews, interviews, and news. Shack News content is readable and viewable at ShackNews.com, Facebook, YouTube at Shack News Interviews, and Shack News VODs, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Shack News Media, Twitch, and more. But that's not all. You can play Bubbletron, our first video game. Combine 3 ideas, hit the market, and get your money hat. Bubbletron is a daily game in the style of Wordle where players can launch a company and see its valuation instantly. Hit that high score and brag to your friends. Visit Bubbletron.com to play. There is no download required, no signups required. But if you are into app downloads, we have the cutest one on the planet. It's called Shack Pets, the ultimate battle for cuteness. Swipe your pets to victory on iOS and Android in this Tinder-like app for pets. Shack News is proud to present a variety of micro products, all available for free at shacknews.com. Cortex is a publishing platform available to all of our users. Shouts is a Twitter replacement in a time where Twitter really needs replacing. And Reader, an RSS reader that won't get shut down by Google anytime soon. You can import YouTube, subreddits, all sorts of cool stuff, even podcast feed. And lastly, all of our products are completely free to use and play, so if you're a fan of what we're doing and want to support the Shack News ecosystem, head over to shacknews.com/Mercury. Mercury offers subscribers access to exclusive Shack News swag like hoodies and VIP access to our long reads in downloadable format. It's a great way to support us. There's different tiers, and you get a lightning bolt next to your name.